Big Sky play resumes tonight with two of the hottest teams in the league in Montana and Northern Colorado. For the Grizz, winners of 8 of their last 9 games, taking on the Bears, a team that is on their first 4-game winning streak in nearly 2 years. Our Jeremiah Johnson's keys to the game for Montana, quite simply, keep it rolling offensively. They've scored 80 points or more 6 times already this year. That matches the total from last season, and they're going up against a team that is dead last in the league in scoring defense. For Northern Colorado, it comes down to the three-point line. They need to have an advantage in that area, averaging nearly 9 3-pointers per game, and they're also dead last in three-point defense, so we'll see who can prevail in that category. Should have a great one for you between the Grizz and the Bears here in Missoula. And especially with the cold temperatures outside, there are going to be a lot of points as it will heat up here inside Dahlberg Arena. Feels like a new season beginning for the Grizzlies, getting back into conference play. Their first conference home game here against Northern Colorado, a team that's had a lot of success here in Missoula. The Grizzlies lead the all-time series 28-14, at home 15-7, but that comes with a caveat. Northern Colorado won 4 straight games here in this building. They're the first team to do that in 19 years. Eastern Washington did it in the early 2000s for Coach DeKeer, just 5-5 at home against Northern Colorado. The Grizzlies did win last year by 2 points at home. Northern Colorado has won 6 of the last 9 between these two. For the Grizzlies, they will go with their 6th different starting lineup. Anan Moody, Brandon Whitney, Laluoki, Deshaun Thomas, and the record breaker here tonight is Josh Vasquez. He'll play in his 135th game in a Grizzly uniform. That passes Mac Anderson and Bobby Moorhead. For Vasquez, a model of consistency, on par to be the top free throw shooter in Grizzly history. He scored nearly 800 points and has made 148 three-pointers. He has now started 10 consecutive games and playing a big role in his senior season. For Northern Colorado, they enter as the top offense in the Big Sky Conference. On the flip side, they are last in scoring defense, so expect a shootout here this evening, especially for the Grizzlies. Their offensive resurgence, they're 3rd in the league, averaging about 77 points per game. But for Montana, it's been very different. Their wins versus losses splits. They are 10-0 this year when scoring 70 points, and in those 10 wins, they're averaging 85 points per game and shooting 52% from the floor. And St. Thomas leads the charge for Northern Colorado. He's only behind Dylan Jones in scoring, rebounding, and he has 7 double-doubles on the year. There is Josh Vasquez, game number 135. When this ball gets tipped in the air, it will be official. Congratulations to Josh Vasquez. Our 3 officials tonight, Tommy Johnson, Mark Beasley, and Doron Gotcho. Glad you're with us on this Thursday night. Grizzlies will control it. They are dressed in white, maroon trim. They will go from left to right. Grizzlies are perfect in their white uniforms this year, checking in at 6-0. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Turnaround from Deshaun Thomas, gets the kind roll, and the Grizzlies score right away thanks to DT. For Thomas, he led the team with 19 points against South Dakota. He's had a block in 8 straight games. He's had 11 rebounds in 3 straight games. Deshaun Thomas, his best stretch in a Grizzly uniform. Northern Colorado, their high-flying offense, 80 points or more, 7 of their 14 games this year. Shot is missed right away, rebounded by Thomas, his first. Grizzlies quickly get it into the front court. Good battle of teams that been following the Big Sky Conference. These both are in the top half of the league. Weber State, Eastern Washington certainly have emerged. There's only 3 unbeaten teams in the league, in Northern Colorado 1-0 as they beat Northern Arizona. No call as Riley Abercrombie went flying. Deshaun Thomas couldn't finish it. St. Thomas comes the other direction and knocks home a 3. Thomas is a junior out of Omaha, Nebraska by way of Loyola Chicago. He spent 2 years playing for the Ramblers, just 14 games last year and 48 total points as a freshman, yet he emerges. The day and age of college basketball and the transfer portal comes to UNC, averages 18 points, 9 rebounds per game as Laluoki is called for an offensive foul underneath. Back into the starting lineup for Laluoki. It's been a topsy-turvy senior season. His last 5 games, he has just 5 total points and 19 total rebounds. His previous 5 games, he averaged a double-double. Was banged up a bit against Weber State, missed the contest against Idaho State, so finding his way a little bit. Montana trails UNC 3-2. Jaron Reilly, a senior from Sydney, Australia, transferred from Samford, passes it inside, and St. Thomas will sky to the rim and score. So Thomas with the first 5 points for UNC. He's been named the Big Sky Conference Player of the Week 3 times this year. Brandon Whitney just inside the arc. He'll knock down a jumper. Can already feel it. 2 minutes into this game, this is going to be a back-and-forth affair between two highly talented offensive teams. Zach Block, he'll feed it in the post. St. Thomas can score from anywhere. Fades away from 8 feet out, and he has all 7 points for UNC. Feeling some confidence early. You can tell he plays with some swagger. And this Bears team has followed suit. 7-6 in the non-conference. Played just 1 conference game so far. They beat Northern Arizona. They did so despite no DeJour Reeves or St. Thomas in that game. St. Thomas played just 6 minutes. Outside Whitney thinking about the three. Pulls the trigger with 3 seconds on the shot clock. He'll miss it. Whitney's only made 3 on the season. As Reilly coming the other way, stop and start, finds Thomas underneath, bully ball underneath the basket, misses the shot. Laluoki rips away the rebound. Over to Vasquez, front court, middle of the floor for the Grizzlies, trailing 7-4. We played 3 minutes, one of 4 games on the Big Sky slate here on this Thursday night. And start talking about consistency and routine, and that'll come with the conference schedule. 4 games every Thursday, 5 games every Saturday. As Vasquez couldn't connect on a free throw line jumper. Goes over to the Northern Colorado, back the other way. St. Thomas all 7 points. This time they go outside. Zach Block's 3 won't go, and a weak side rebound from Brandon Whitney. Grizzlies' 3rd best rebounding margin in the Big Sky. Here halfway through the regular season, Whitney gets to the rim, count the bucket and the foul, and Whitney try and tie up this game at the free throw line with just over 16 minutes to go in half number 1. Grizz making some subs as we take another look at Brandon Whitney. That's the bread and butter when he can get underneath the basket, has such good awareness from about 6 feet and in, and Brandon Whitney, who is playing his 3,000th minute right now for the Grizzlies, went over 1,000 points a couple of games ago. This is game number 102 from him, the 36th member of the 1,000-point club. Whitney's free throw ties up the game at 7. When Brandon Whitney gets in double figures scoring, the Montana Grizzlies are 6-0 this year. He has 5 of the 7 points for Montana as they lock in defensively. St. Thomas going to work against Jordan Williams, fresh into the game. Williams coming off his best contest as a Grizzly. Shot was missed and a late foul. It's on Jordan Williams. 2 free throws will come. Jordan Williams had a season-high 17 points as we get another peek at this. Looked like pretty good defense. And a technical foul whistled against the Grizzly bench. Tommy Johnson setting the stage early in this one. A little bit too much chatter. And St. Thomas now will shoot a bunch of free throws as Northern Colorado, 72%. 5th best in the league. So sorting everything out, Thomas is an 82% free throw shooter to go along with his other impressive accolades. Does miss the first of the 2 technical free throws. Coach DeCure talking with Tommy Johnson. Second free throw good. Makes it 8-7, so now we will shoot the personal foul that was on Jordan Williams. To finish the thought, Jordan Williams was inserted into the starting lineup. Coach DeCure had said post-game that that was clearly a matchup that he saw that he wanted to take advantage of. And Jordan Williams responded, 17 points in 34 minutes. He made 3 triples in that contest. St. Thomas connects on his 3rd free throw. He has all 9 of the Bears' points so far, and trying to make it a perfect 10. And he does. St. Thomas this year already his 12th time he's been in double figures scoring. 8 times he's went up and over 20 points. Good start for him. Grizzlies trail 10-7 to the right wing to Sean Thomas. They'll feed it to the right side of the floor. Here's Tajon Sawyer, gets the kind roll. It hung on the front iron and fell in. Tajon Sawyer, instant offense off of the bench. 6'8" junior out of San Francisco. Started a couple of games against Idaho State and North Dakota State for the Grizzlies. And is certainly a nice piece this year. DeJour Reeves, a junior out of Syracuse, New York, will score, and the first player outside of St. Thomas to put a ball in the bucket. DeJour Reeves is second on the team in scoring and sixth in the Big Sky Conference, 15 points per game. So back and forth we go. Northern Colorado with a three-point edge. Right back they go to Tajon Sawyer. Misses everything on the left-hand turnaround. Good defense from Theo Hughes, who's played in 70 games in his career in Greeley. Really emerged last year. Good piece off the bench, 7-footer out of England. Here's a drive from Riley Abercrombie, one of the few returners from last year. He's more of a three-point shooter inside the arc. Couldn't get the roll, and the Grizz come back on offense. Trailing 12-9. Brandon Whitney stops and starts down the right lane. St. Thomas cuts him off, and back outside to Jordan Williams. Williams will feed it in the post. They love this matchup with Sawyer going up against Theo Hughes, and Sawyer gets the bucket and the foul. So a couple of and-one opportunities. The Grizzlies pounding the paint early, and with 14:37 to go in the opening half, they trail Northern Colorado 12-11. This is Montana Grizzly basketball from Learfield and on ESPN+.
At Blackfoot Communications, our mission is to connect people, businesses, and communities, bringing a world-class fiber network to homes, communities, and businesses of all sizes ensures Montanans have access to fast, reliable, and secure internet and phone services. Are you ready for fiber internet? To find out if fiber is coming to your area, visit goblackfoot.com/readyforfiber. Connect to more with Blackfoot Communications.
Make sure to come visit us at Finn, where you have the best views, delicious cocktails, and mouth-watering meals. Finn serves breakfast, lunch, happy hour, and dinner daily. You'll be sure to leave satisfied. You give a look at the Grizzly Huddle. They've been on quite the roll since the calendar turned to December. Coach DeCure, it's been different. Normally they space out those money guarantee games. This year, they were all piled in November. Grizzlies took their lumps early. They were 2-4. They've won 8 of 9 since, the only blemish coming to Weber State. Coach DeCure, 188 wins, now 5th all-time in Big Sky Conference history. Second here at UM, just 33 wins away from George Dahlberg, who, of course, the arena is named after. Robin Selva court the site. Tajon Sawyer out of the timeout, goes to the free throw line, trying to tie up this game at 12 apiece. And Sawyer cannot do that. Grizzlies pounding the paint early. 8 of the first 11 points have come inside, and speaking of inside, there's a good tap-in finish from Theo Hughes. 8th on the team in scoring in minutes, averages about 3 points per game. These Bears are loaded offensively as Brandon Whitney just inside the arc. He'll knock down the jumper. That's a good sign to see for Montana. Brandon Whitney shooting 52% for the season. And in his career, a 51% shooter. Pretty amazing from a point guard, as Theo Hughes got a touch underneath, and the foul whistled against Tajon Sawyer. So fouls racking up early. 4 against the Grizzlies in the opening 6 minutes of this game. As Josh Vasquez, Laluoki will check back in. Theo Hughes at the stripe, 12 for 25 on the year, checking in at 48% 7-footers first one, calmly up and in. For Northern Colorado, 2 Division I road wins this year. They won at Air Force and they won at North Dakota in the Big Sky Summit League Challenge. Both of these teams last week went 2-0 in the Big Sky Summit. 2 of 4 teams in the Big Sky were able to go through the mini 2-game slate unblemished. Eastern Washington and Weber State, the other 2. Both free throws good, makes it back to a 3-point game for UNC. Brandon Whitney at the free throw line, outside 3, taken by Deshaun Thomas and knocked in. DT, 950 points now in his career, his 121st 3. He's been shooting it nearly at 45% here in his senior season. We're all tied up at 16. Good response and a make from DeJour Reeves. It's a transfer from Trinidad State. That's a community college in Colorado. How about this stat? 24 points per game last season, and he only played 24 minutes per game, scoring in high volumes. Gives the Bears the lead back, 18-16. Thomas will try it again, and he gets it to go. Counted +1, and Thomas with an opportunity at a 4-point play. And to add insult to injury for Northern Colorado, that foul is on St. Thomas. Look at the follow-through here as Thomas went down, that being Deshaun Thomas, and St. Thomas whistled for his first. And DT, who's been in double-figure scoring 8 times this year. Grizzlies are 6-2 when he does so, and Thomas with 9 early points. So 9 from Thomas, 7 from Whitney, and 4 from Sawyer, and the Grizz have seesawed in front 20-18. Pass from Brock Wisney. Underneath the hoop was Reeves. It goes out of bounds, and a turnover for Northern Colorado. It's their first of the game. The Grizzlies really do a good job of taking care of the basketball, just 10 turnovers per contest, but they force the fewest amount of turnovers in the Big Sky as well. A bit unique considering the formulas the Grizz have had in years past, usually dominating the turnover margin. Not the case with this year's group and personnel. Jordan Williams tiptoes the baseline left side, has to throw it back out to Deshaun Thomas. 7 to shoot on the left wing, now going to Brandon Whitney. Whitney down the paint, gets his shot rejected by Thomas. Back the other way, Reeves. No look pass to the left side, and Reilly. Back to Reeves, to the free throw line. Fades away, Reeves halfway down and popped out. And Thomas has his second rebound. Both teams shooting nearly 60% here in the early going. Thomas again from outside. This time it was way too strong, rebounded by Oki. Oki, a trademark offensive rebound, finds Jordan Williams, who missed the shot, and a foul called on the rebound. It'll be Wisney. Brock Wisney, a sophomore from Thornton, Colorado, one of 2 Coloradoans in the main rotation for Steve Smiley, 4th year leading UNC. And his record, 53-53. As Riley Abercrombie will come back in. Another look at the Grizzly bench. It's nice to see Money Williams back with the team, wearing a boot as well as Josh Vasquez 3, a little bit too strong, offensive rebound, and the Grizz have new life. Vasquez with 15 to shoot. Grizzlies up by 2, trying to feed it inside Thomas. Double team comes, they turn it to the left wing. Jordan Williams, high arcing shot, that won't fall. Foul on the rebound will go on Laluoki and lead us to a timeout with 11:57 to go until halftime. The Grizzlies have pulled in front, they lead 20-18. This is Montana Grizzly basketball from Learfield.
In the heart of Montana's untamed wilderness, a legend is brewing. Jeremiah Johnson Brewing, the official beer of the Big Sky Conference. Brewed with the rugged spirit of the West. Jeremiah Johnson is simply a world-class, straightforward, no-nonsense beer. Do well.
We never set out to be the largest casino resort in the Pacific Northwest. We just wanted to be the best. But we forgot that being the best means more guests wanting more action, more jackpots, more big-name entertainment, more pedicures. Well, more everything. Until one day, you look up and realize, we need a new hotel tower. The new River Tower, to be exact. Northern Quest in Spokane, Washington. Now the largest. And yes, still the best.
With everyday styles at great prices, you can get more of what you want for less. Find go-tos for going everywhere and perfect picks for your home. Shop Kohl's and Kohl's.com today. Welcome back in. 11:57 to go in the first half. Get a peek at Steve Smiley, fourth year leading Northern Colorado, his eighth year in Greeley overall, spent 4 years as an assistant coach under Jeff Linder, and what a run it was. 3 straight 20-win seasons for this Bears program. They've been a model of consistency. Last year was more of an outlier for them. They went 12-20. It was their first losing season in 6 years. Amazing when you considering the talent they had. They had Dalen Kuntz, Matt Johnson, and Dalton Connect, who's currently averaging 16 points per game for Tennessee, leading a top 10 program this year. But Northern Colorado able to retool. They picked up a variety of scores in the transfer portal, including arguably their 3 most important players in St. Thomas, DeJour Reeves, and Jaron Reilly. Out of the timeout, Montana leads 20-18. Tiptoeing baseline is Wisney. They throw it back outside, and the three-pointer is taken and made by Riley Abercrombie. 75% of Abercrombie's shots come from outside. Fourth on the team in scoring and leads the squad with 30 made threes. 11:21 left to go here in the first half. Thomas will sky and score. And DT is already in double-figure scoring for the 9th time this year as the Grizzlies 22-21. Expect a ton of lead changes in this one and a lot of points on the board. They've played 9 minutes. Both teams up and over 20. Good pass over in the corner. Reilly's triple is good. The third made 3 for Northern Colorado. They average 9 threes per game. That's always been a formula. They led the nation in made threes for a 3-year stretch under Jeff Linder. Top 10 in the country in each individual season. Tajon Sawyer gives it off to Anan Moody. Moody wraps it around, tries to feed it down low to Sawyer. Ball comes loose. Good effort from Thomas, but it goes over to Northern Colorado. Swiped away by Vasquez. Vasquez, steal number 108 in his career. He's over on the left wing now. Team trailing by 2. They'll feed the post and Tajon Sawyer. Sawyer backing down Brock Wisney. One-on-one battle. He's cut off. Outside to Thomas. 13 to shoot. Thomas, extra step, and he goes to the rim and scores. So it's been a 3-man show for the Grizzlies. 13 from Thomas, 7 from Whitney, 4 from Sawyer. Anan Moody yet to take a shot in this game. Ball out of bounds. Will stay on this end as St. Thomas will come back into the game. Scored 19 or more points in 5 of the last 6 contests. He can just score in bunches. And we mentioned it, the only outlier, he scored 3 points and played just 6 minutes against Northern Arizona. Team was able to win that game and score up and over 90. They feed it to him on the right block. Gets Thomas to fly by him, and Thomas will score. He's got 12. 26-24 Bears. Northern Colorado, top 65 in the country in scoring offense. 4 straight games, they've been up and over 80. This shot missed from the left wing, rebounded by St. Thomas. Back over to Northern Colorado, dressed in blue, a team that won here in 4 consecutive trips. First team to do that in 19 years when Eastern Washington did it from 2001 to 2004. Couple close battles. Grizz just snuck by last year. They beat the Bears by 2 at home and by 5 down in Greeley. Thomas, great shot fake down the left lane. Maybe got away with steps. Throws over to Riley Abercrombie, who misses everything on the 12-foot jumper. Brandon Whitney comes the other way. Gets to the right wing and back outside to Sean Thomas. He'll turn it to the left wing and Josh Vasquez. 9:05 to go in the first half. 26-24 UNC. Whitney keeps his pivot foot, throws outside Thomas. 10 seconds to shoot it. And Deshaun Thomas, through some contact, misses the shot, and St. Thomas has the rebound, his 3rd already. Reilly Played 3 years at Samford, 83 games, but much more prominent role here for Northern Colorado, trying to back down on and Moody. Sold it a bit, and it will be a foul. Team foul number 6 against the Grizzlies with 8:38 to go. That's the first one on and Moody. We'll get another look at it. And we will give Reilly the award, the senior from Sydney, Australia. He would lead the Big Sky Conference in assists if he would qualify, but he missed the first 5 games of the season. He has 50 assists in 9 games, nearly 6 per contest. Had a career-high 30 points against North Dakota. His dad, John, played basketball at Gonzaga, currently the head coach of the Perth Wildcats, a team in the NBL over in Australia. A high basketball IQ. He was on triple-double watch in the team's latest win over Denver. On Saturday, he had 6 points, 8 rebounds, and a career-high 10 assists. He splits the difference. Northern Colorado leads by 3, 27-24. Brandon Whitney on the left wing. Quick first step for Brandon. Gets to the rim. Counted in 1. The 4th and 1 for Montana here in the first 11 and a half minutes of this game. And Brandon Whitney with a chance to tie it up. Just hit the accelerator. Got the mismatch they wanted. The 7-footer Theo Hughes tried to block it. Got a little bit too much body. Hughes picks up his second foul. And Brandon Whitney goes to the free throw line. And Whitney makes the free throw. He's in double-figure scoring. So all the scoring for Montana has come from 3 players. 13 from Deshaun Thomas, 10 from Brandon Whitney, and 4 from Tajon Sawyer. We're tied up at 27, 8:18 to go in the first half. Thomas throws it inside. Great feed, and Brock Wisney will score. Wisney's 3rd on the team in scoring, 12 points per game. His first career start came against Montana last year. Whitney in the corner. Next whistle takes us to a timeout. Whitney goes to the rim, misses it short. Good job by Tajon Sawyer to chase that one down. Shuffling it to the right wing, Jordan Williams is bumped and fouled, and that will lead us to a timeout as well. With 7:52 left to go in the opening half, Grizzlies trailing Northern Colorado 29-27. This is Montana Grizzly basketball from Learfield and on ESPN+. Great.
At Blackfoot Communications, our mission is to connect people, businesses, and communities, bringing a world-class fiber network to homes, communities, and businesses of all sizes ensures Montanans have access to fast, reliable, and secure internet and phone services. Are you ready for fiber internet? To find out if fiber is coming to your area, visit goblackfoot.com/readyforfiber. Connect to more with Blackfoot Communications.
It's easy to see why Montana is the treasure state. At the University of Montana, we look inside. We see an old truth with fresh eyes, that Montana's greatest treasure is its people. So whatever tomorrow brings, we meet it the only way we know how, with a mind for making. Because what's made in Montana is remaking the world.
Strikes during a Grizz game. Get your favorites delivered right to your door and never miss a moment with McDelivery from McDonald's. Glad you're with us. Hope you're staying safe, bundled up. Winter is finally hit here in western Montana. A couple inches of snow today. The Arctic front is coming. Might not see temperatures above 0 in a couple of days, although the points are certainly flying here inside Dahlberg Arena at Robin Selvig Court. 29-27, Northern Colorado leads Montana. 7:52 to go. Out of the inbounds play, they go to Anand Moody. His first shot comes 12 minutes into this game. He misses it short. Rebounded by UNC, they go to super sophomore Langston Reynolds. Reynolds averaging 12 points per game over his last 3, forces up a shot. He misses it. It's rebounded by Thomas. Grizzly bench wanted a foul there. Both teams with 6 first-half fouls will shoot free throws the rest of the way. 3 players have done all the scoring for the Grizz. Brandon Whitney and Deshaun Thomas already in double figures as Josh Vasquez is bumped and fouled. Reynolds is whistled for it. It will be his first, and Vasquez will go to the free throw line very fittingly on the night that he's going to break the record. He'll shoot a couple of free throws. Top free throw shooter in Grizzly history. 91% for his career. This will be a 1-and-1. And the front end is good for Josh. Some of the numbers in his career: 758 points, 254 rebounds, 160 assists, 108 steals, 148 made three-pointers, and he's only missed 13 free throws in 135 games. Pretty amazing stuff as he ties up the game at 29 apiece. Over to Langston Reynolds for his first career start. Also came against Montana last year. He's out of Denver East High School, the number 2 rated player in Colorado as a senior. Ball gets poked out, will stay on this end. Northern Colorado, top offense in the league at 80 points per game. Here's Jaron Reilly. Reilly gets caught in midair, misses the jumper, rebounded by Brandon Whitney. Grizzlies want to push. They find an Anand Moody on the left wing. A trailing Deshaun Thomas launches a 3 and finds the bottom of the net. Deshaun Thomas en fuego early on. His 3rd made triple. He has 16 points, and the Grizzlies lead 32-29. Reynolds to St. Thomas, who has cooled down a bit after scoring the first 10 for UNC. Step back from the free throw line, won't fall. Thomas active on the boards, his 5th already. Moody hits the gas pedal, lost the basketball. It's the 3rd turnover against the Grizz. Thomas directing traffic over to Zach Block, as Block will find Jaron Reilly. Reilly, guarded by Josh Vasquez, gets in the paint, throws outside. Wisney wide open for 3. He knows what to do with it. Northern Colorado is 4 for 5 from outside. They've always been a good three-point shooting team. They connect here to tie up the game, 32 apiece. Already our 6th tie. Brandon Whitney gets to the paint, and he draws the foul on Langston Reynolds. Reynolds will pick up his 2nd, and Whitney will go to the free throw line again. So Thomas with 16 points. 19 against South Dakota. His season high 23. That came against UC Davis in November. You get another look at this triple. Thomas is just feeling it. He's the one that has been left open. And Thomas, his career high, 25 points. That came in Portland last year. First free throw from Brandon Whitney is good. Grizz move back in front, 33-32. Abercrombie and Reeves check back in for Steve Smiley. Grizzlies 5 on the floor. Deshaun Thomas, Josh Vasquez on and Moody. Brandon Whitney and Jordan Williams for the Grizzly starters. And Williams is in there for Oki, who picked up 2 early fouls. He's currently on the bench. Second free throw true for Brandon Whitney. He has 12. He's a perfect 4 or 4 at the free throw line. And it's 34-32 Montana. DeJour Reeves from Syracuse, New York. First year at the Division I level as Josh Vasquez swipes it away. He's got the steal. Moody in transition, took the 3, but he walked with it first. And they have been focusing in on Anand Moody. As Moody has not had much breathing room, just 1 attempted shot and 3 turnovers. As he's played 13 first half minutes. 5.5 to go until the break. Here's DeJour Reeves. Nice jumper that'll go in. Reeves with 6. He averages 15 a game. His production has went down. He's been a bit banged up coming off the bench tonight. Jordan Williams on the baseline, wraps it around, couldn't get the roll. Off the heel of the rim, St. Thomas with his 4th rebound. UNC in transition. Nobody stops Reeves. He throws it over to the left wing and Wisney. Wisney going to work against Deshaun Thomas, and he stepped on the baseline. Turnover number 4 for the Bears. Back it goes to Montana with 5:01 remaining. 58 days until Boise, the conference tournament. Final 16 games are all Big Sky games. This is the battle of the preseason number 2 in Montana against the preseason number 8 pick in Northern Colorado. Give the coaches a pass on this one. I don't think many people would have expected Northern Colorado, coming off a 12-win season, losing their top 3 scorers, to be where they are at right now. But St. Thomas from Loyola Chicago, DeJour Reeves from Trinidad State, Jaron Reilly from Samford, their top 3 scorers have transferred in. The emergence of Brock Wisney as a sophomore, averaging 12 points per game, and you add it all together. It's a pretty lethal attack. And speaking of lethal, Josh Vasquez able to connect on the 3 from the right wing. On Vasquez's night, he has 5 points. Grizz lead by 3. As UNC will miss one and done. Rebounded by Sawyer. Up the floor, they'll find Brandon Whitney. Deshaun Thomas back to Vasquez. Vasquez coming off a game where he made a career-high 5 3-pointers. Tajon Sawyer's turnaround won't fall in. Rebounded by Reeves. Reeves will throw this one back to Juju Ramirez, a sophomore from Lawrence, Kansas. As Reilly throws it to St. Thomas, goes off the window and scores. Thomas with 14 of the 36 points for Northern Colorado. Scored the first 10, now emerging again. Next whistle takes us to another break. 37-36 Montana. Trying to win 9 of 10 for the first time in 5 years. Good pass from Moody. Underneath to Sawyer. He couldn't make the bunny. Over to Ramirez. Ramirez, good feed underneath. Ramirez scores, and that will lead us to a timeout. Coach DeKeer fired up, and we'll take one with them. On and Moody. Over to Josh Vasquez. Vasquez makes the 3 with 3:33 to go. We've got a 1-point game. This is Montana Grizzly basketball from Learfield and on ESPN+. Great.
In the heart of Montana's untamed wilderness, a legend is brewing. Jeremiah Johnson Brewing, the official beer of the Big Sky Conference. Brewed with the rugged spirit of the West. Jeremiah Johnson is simply a world-class, straightforward, no-nonsense beer. Do well.
We never set out to be the largest casino resort in the Pacific Northwest. We just wanted to be the best. But we forgot that being the best means more guests wanting more action, more jackpots, more big-name entertainment, more pedicures. Well, more everything. Until one day, you look up and realize, we need a new hotel tower. The new River Tower, to be exact. Northern Quest in Spokane, Washington. Now the largest. And yes, still the best.
On our teams, thank you for letting us be your trusted community bank for more than 50 years. First Interstate Bank, built for you. Member FDIC. Welcome back in on this Thursday night. Glad you're with us. Nate Michaels producing the ESPN Plus broadcast. Brian Freeman back in our radio studios. This game is good as advertised. Sometimes you see the numbers on paper. You're not sure if they're going to translate to the game, but we expected a shootout tonight, and we already have 75 points on the board with 3.5 minutes to go in the first half. 38-37 the score. Already 7 ties, 7 lead changes, and the Grizzlies have not played many close games this year. Will that change here in this contest? The Grizz have no games decided by 7 points or fewer. For Northern Colorado, half of their games have been decided by 5 points or less. They're 4-3 in those games, and we'll see if it plays out, if this game comes down to the wire. But early indications are it's going to be a shootout, and it will be. Northern Colorado shooting 56% from the floor. They're 4 of 6 from deep. Blake Jones checks in for Montana. Jones is first game since December. He hasn't entered the last two. He checks in for Tajon Sawyer. 3:19 to go. Anan Moody yet to get in the scoring column yet. Deshaun Thomas has picked up the heavy lifting. 16 points for Thomas. Vasquez goes down the left lane, hits the deck, scores anyway, and the Grizz lead 39-38. Vasquez with 7 points here in the first half. Coming off a game where he's able to put 17 on the board. Jaron Reilly on the left wing, guarded by Anan Moody. 39-38 Montana. Reilly keeping his pivot foot at the left elbow, kicks outside to Riley Abercrombie. Abercrombie guarded by Blake Jones, Australian on Australian, and Jones wins the battle. Tips the shot over to Montana front court. Here's Brandon Whitney, cut off, throws to the right wing. Deshaun Thomas tries it again, this time off the front iron, no. Thomas is 3 for 5 from outside in this one. St. Thomas back the other direction. He's got 14 first half points. Josh Vasquez will try and defend him on this possession, and Thomas able to score from the left wing. A trademark move, turnaround jumper. He can score from anywhere, and the Bears lead 40-39. Whitney, bad pass over to DeJour Reeves, all by himself in the front court. Reeves goes to the rim, and Vasquez prevents the dunk. He was not letting that happen on his watch, and big reason why. And look at the effort here. If you're watching on ESPN Plus, Vasquez didn't make much contact either, but he did prevent the dunk as DeJour Reeves will shoot 2 free throws. Reeves missed 2 games in the last couple weeks, Northern Arizona and North Dakota. Returned and scored 12 points in 23 minutes against Denver. Grizzle insert Jordan Williams and Tajon Sawyer back in. Anan Moody had a career game against North Dakota State where he scored 36 points. But his other 4 games in this 5-game stretch, he's averaging just 10 points per game. So becoming human a little bit is Anan Moody after that performance. 1 out of 2 for Reeves at the free throw line. The lead is 2 for Northern Colorado at 41-39. Vasquez to Thomas, directing traffic. They try and feed the post. They look to get it to Sawyer, and a foul called on Northern Colorado instead. Whistled against Wisney. So free throws will come from Sawyer. It was team foul number 8, so a 1-and-1 on the way for Tajon, who shoots it at 80% from the stripe. 5 times he's been in double-figure scoring at his first start against Idaho State. And in that game, he had a season-high 17 points. Rattles in the front end of the 1-and-1. We'll try and tie it up as Anan Moody will check back in. Thomas will take a well-deserved break on the bench. 16 points, 5 rebounds. He's on pace for his 4th consecutive double-double. Sawyer deliberate at the stripe. His second one also rattles home. Grizzlies 9 for 10 at the free throw line in the first half, and we're all tied up again at 41 apiece. Jaron Reilly brings it into the front court. Thomas a touch pass right back to Reilly. Reilly spins around on a dime. Vasquez keeps his defensive positioning. Reilly not afraid to bang bodies underneath, and he scores it. Nice fadeaway from the lefty. Putting it in at 17 points per game over his last 4. Compared to his first 5 games, he averaged just 7 points per game. So getting more comfortable after Reilly missed the first 5 games of the season. Anan Moody receives the dribble handoff, his team trailing 43-41. Vasquez will feed it to Sawyer again. Sawyer has the mismatch he wants, goes up and scores. And Sawyer with 8 first half points. The Grizzlies have had 4 players score all 43 of their points. The Bears can go 2 for 1. As they like to move quickly. It shouldn't be an issue for them. Driving Ramirez, a bump and a foul. Whistled against the Grizz. And the foul is on Sawyer. And Travis DeCuire is speaking his mind right now, as Sawyer will go to the bench with 2. So the 2 Grizzlies that have picked up 2 first-half fouls, the big fellas in Oki and Sawyer. That depth that they have down low, important in a situation like this. Missoula Country Club, experience the lifestyle. Missoula's only private club. Call or visit us online to schedule a tour. So at the free throw line will be Juju Ramirez, 6 of 9 at the stripe here this season. Squares up a 1-and-1, misses the front end. Rebounded by Vasquez. All tied up at 43. More than likely the final offensive possession of this first half for Montana. As Whitney gets down to the right block, goes off the glass and scores. 6 and 1s for Montana here in the first half. And Brandon Whitney has done a ton of damage. He's up to 14 points. He has not come off the floor for Montana here in the first half of play. And for Whitney, it seems like a long time ago, there was a 6-game stretch that stretched from late November, early December, where Brandon Whitney scored a total of 11 points and was 4 for 22 from the floor. And now averaging double-figure scoring in his last 4 contests. And especially with the absence of Monty Williams and the reemergence of Brandon Whitney, the Grizzlies look like a different team, and they look like a contender again in the Big Sky. 31 seconds left to go. Let's take a peek at what Deshaun Thomas has been able to do in the first half. 16 points. He's made 3 triples, but he's been able to score from anywhere. And you can tell with Thomas pretty early on in games, if he has that extra gear, he's been able to find it tonight. And he has been a matchup problem for Northern Colorado. At Direct Source, they offer their clients thoughtfully designed cabinets as well as superior countertops. They look forward to collaborating with you on your next project. Visit Direct Source in one of their beautiful showrooms. So both teams out of timeouts. Grizzlies, all their scoring has come from 4 players. 16 from Thomas, 15 from Brandon Whitney, 8 from Tajon Sawyer, 7 from Josh Vasquez, playing in his 135th game here tonight. None from Anan Moody, and just 1 shot attempt for the 7th-year senior. It's about a 1.5-second difference between shot clock and game clock. As Jaron Reilly will dribble it down, Jordan Williams defending him. As the Bears trailing by 3 will look to get a bucket going into the halftime locker room. Reilly crosses over, down the left lane, drops it down. Abercrombie missed the layup, but the putback from Reilly is in, and that will lead us to the break. What an entertaining first half. 9 ties, 10 lead changes, and the margin is 1 point at the break as Montana leads Northern Colorado 46-45. You get a peek at Monty Williams. Has the scooter and his right foot in a boot, but it's great to see Money back with the team. Our halftime score, Montana 46 and Northern Colorado 45. Stick around, not only for the second half, should be entertaining, for the halftime show for our radio listeners. Go through the stats, the highlights, and get you all set to go for the second half from here in Missoula. 1-point game, Grizz on top. This is Montana Grizzly basketball from Learfield and on ESPN+.
From the snowy peaks of the Rocky Mountains to the Golden Coast in the Pacific Northwest, we've blazed our own path forward. We've climbed to the highest peaks. We've reached this summit despite all odds stacked against us. Through consistent hard work and fiery competition on the field of play and in the classroom, we've held each other to a standard worthy of our namesake. We are the Big Sky Conference, where experience is elevated.
There's this place where you can play out of bounds. You can catch a wave, a show, and a bite to eat, all on the same block. Missoula, Montana is a place with mountains of pride, a spirit of adventure, and the great outdoors right outside your door. Are you ready to play?
It's easy to see why Montana is the treasure state. At the University of Montana, we look inside. We see an old truth with fresh eyes, that Montana's greatest treasure is its people. So whatever tomorrow brings, we meet it the only way we know how, with a mind for making. Because what's made in Montana is remaking the world.
There's so much to love about living in Montana, which is why there's a lender dedicated to helping you find a home here. For over 30 years, Man Mortgage has helped make home ownership a reality for countless Montana families with affordable, local home loan solutions. Dedicated to this great place where they first started, because Montana is your home, and Man Mortgage is your lender. As Montana's force in mortgage banking since 1989, Man Mortgage is a proud sponsor of Grizzly Athletics.
At Blackfoot Communications, our mission is to connect people, businesses, and communities, bringing a world-class fiber network to homes, communities, and businesses of all sizes. Ensures Montanans have access to fast, reliable, and secure internet and phone services. Are you ready for fiber internet? To find out if fiber is coming to your area, visit goblackfoot.com/readyforfiber. Connect to more with Blackfoot Communications.
Those moments where banking is the last thing on your mind? Yeah, those are our favorite moments too. Bring on the day. First Interstate, built for you.
In the heart of Montana's untamed wilderness, a legend is brewing. Jeremiah Johnson Brewing, the official beer of the Big Sky Conference. Brewed with the rugged spirit of the West. Jeremiah Johnson is simply a world-class, straightforward, no-nonsense beer. Do well.
We never set out to be the largest casino resort in the Pacific Northwest. We just wanted to be the best. But we forgot that being the best means more guests wanting more action, more jackpots, more big-name entertainment, more pedicures. Well, more everything. Until one day, you look up and realize, we need a new hotel tower. The new River Tower, to be exact. Northern Quest in Spokane, Washington. Now the largest. And yes, still the best.
Snowy peaks of the Rocky Mountains to the Golden Coast in the Pacific Northwest, we've blazed our own path forward. We've climbed to the highest peaks. We've reached this summit despite all odds stacked against us. Through consistent hard work and fiery competition on the field of play and in the classroom, we've held each other to a standard worthy of our namesake. We are the Big Sky Conference, where experience is elevated.
There's this place where you can play out of bounds. You can catch a wave, a show, and a bite to eat, all on the same block. Missoula, Montana is a place with mountains of pride, a spirit of adventure, and the great outdoors right outside your door. Are you ready to play?
It's easy to see why Montana is the treasure state. At the University of Montana, we look inside. We see an old truth with fresh eyes, that Montana's greatest treasure is its people. So whatever tomorrow brings, we meet it the only way we know how, with a mind for making. Because what's made in Montana is remaking the world.
There's so much to love about living in Montana, which is why there's a lender dedicated to helping you find a home here. For over 30 years, Man Mortgage has helped make home ownership a reality for countless Montana families with affordable, local home loan solutions. Dedicated to this great place where they first started, because Montana is your home and Man Mortgage is your lender. As Montana's force in mortgage banking since 1989, Man Mortgage is a proud sponsor of Grizzly Athletics.
At Blackfoot Communications, our mission is to connect people, businesses, and communities, bringing a world-class fiber network to homes, communities, and businesses of all sizes. Ensures Montanans have access to fast, reliable, and secure internet and phone services. Are you ready for fiber internet? To find out if fiber is coming to your area, visit goblackfoot.com/readyforfiber. Connect to more with Blackfoot Communications.
Those moments where banking is the last thing on your mind? Yeah, those are our favorite moments too. Bring on the day. First Interstate, built for you.
In the heart of Montana's untamed wilderness, a legend is brewing. Jeremiah Johnson Brewing, the official beer of the Big Sky Conference. Brewed with the rugged spirit of the West, Jeremiah Johnson is simply a world-class, straightforward, no-nonsense beer. Do well.
We never set out to be the largest casino resort in the Pacific Northwest. We just wanted to be the best. But we forgot that being the best means more guests wanting more action, more jackpots, more big-name entertainment, more pedicures. Well, more everything. Until one day, you look up and realize, we need a new hotel tower. The new River Tower, to be exact. Northern Quest in Spokane, Washington. Now the largest. And yes, still the best.
From the snowy peaks of the Rocky Mountains to the Golden Coast in the Pacific Northwest, we've blazed our own path forward. We've climbed to the highest peaks. We've reached this summit despite all odds stacked against us. Through consistent hard work and fiery competition on the field of play and in the classroom, we've held each other to a standard worthy of our namesake. We are the Big Sky Conference, where experience is elevated.
There's this place where you can play out of bounds. You can catch a wave, a show, and a bite to eat, all on the same block. Missoula, Montana is a place with mountains of pride, a spirit of adventure, and the great outdoors right outside your door. Are you ready to play?
It's easy to see why Montana is the treasure state. At the University of Montana, we look inside. We see an old truth with fresh eyes, that Montana's greatest treasure is its people. So whatever tomorrow brings, we meet it the only way we know how, with a mind for making. Because what's made in Montana is remaking the world.
There's so much to love about living in Montana.
Welcome back in as we get ready to go for half number 2. A high-scoring affair between two of the top 3 offenses in the Big Sky has lived up to the hype. Montana leads Northern Colorado 46-45. We are firmly into Big Sky Conference play. 16 games remain for Montana. And here's a look at the updated conference standings. Just 3 teams unbeaten. Weber State, Eastern Washington, Northern Colorado, Montana, and Portland State with good overall records check in behind them. And pretty consensus, those are the top 5 teams in the league. Look at the bottom half, Idaho, Montana State. Been surprises with new rosters. Northern Arizona has struggled a bit, and Idaho State and Sacramento State winless in league play. Let's check some of the scores from around the Big Sky. 3 other games in action tonight. Weber State is trailing Sacramento State 37-30 at halftime. Montana State on top of Northern Arizona 37-28, and Portland State will take on Idaho State. That game will tip off here momentarily. Should be a fun race here for the Big Sky Conference crown. The Grizz will welcome in Northern Arizona. That game will be Saturday night, 7 o'clock. I'll have the action for you right here on ESPN+. But the matter at hand is Northern Colorado. These two teams have been explosive offensively. As we welcome everybody back in, about 30 seconds left to go to get ready for half number 2. Montana leads Northern Colorado 46-45. Had 3 players in double figure scoring. Deshaun Thomas, 16 points, 5 rebounds. Brandon Whitney with 15 first half points. And on the other side, St. Thomas for Northern Colorado, 16 first half points. He scored the first 10 points in the game for UNC. Get a look at him wearing number 0 out of Omaha, Nebraska. Spent 2 years at Loyola Chicago, but you look at his numbers at Loyola Chicago, you wouldn't have at least guessed that St. Thomas would be one of the top players in the league, averaging 18 points, 9 rebounds per game at Loyola Chicago. He played just 14 games last year, and then as a freshman, he scored a total of 48 points. He's a new player here. He's been up and over 20 points 8 times already in 14 games. Had a career-high 31 against CSUN early on this year. Can score from anywhere. As for Montana, they're showing their versatility. 4 players have scored for the Grizz, all with 7 points or more. And Anand Moody, no points. He's taken just 1 shot in the first half. Settle in, should be a good second half from Robin Selva Court inside Dahlberg Arena. Winter has come outside. Points are flying inside. Northern Colorado dressed in blue. They'll go left to right across your screen and your radio dial for Montana in their home whites, where they're perfect this year at 6-0. Now, this isn't an outlandish guess, but assuming that the Grizz are going to get to 70 points in this game, they are a perfect 10-0 when doing so, and 0-5 when scoring fewer than 70. So we'll see if they can win a different type of game tonight, as a turnaround jumper good from Reilly at Northern Colorado. gives us our 11th lead change of the game. They're back in front by a point, 47-46. Thomas trying to pick up where he left off, short on the three, rebounded by Brandon Whitney. Moody inside the arc, finds Vasquez in the corner. He'll pull the trigger. A little bit too strong, rebounded by Block. He's on the run. Quickly into the front court. Block, junior from Lawrence, Kansas, averaging 10 points per game over his last 4. Feeds it inside. Great defense from Deshaun Thomas. Pass goes over to Wisney. Good turnaround on Lalu Oki, and Wisney will score. Wisney is the best low post presence for Steve Smiley in Northern Colorado. He's made 60 two-point buckets this year. That's the most on the team. Bears lead by 3. This is their largest lead of the game. As Anan Moody turns around and scores. And the lid has been lifted for Anan Moody. Is the Moody chance rained down inside Dahlberg Arena for the first time, and Moody, who started his 50th game in a Grizzly uniform, will score. Back to a 1-point game. Good pick and roll action. Wisney missed the bunny, and the Grizz will look to pounce on the other end. Whitney up top to the right wing, and Anan Moody. Deshaun Thomas goes one-on-one with Riley Abercrombie. Bully ball underneath, and Deshaun Thomas wins the battle. He's got 18 points. Let's go, Ward. Thomas's season high is 23. His career high is 25. He's got 18. Reilly against Brandon Whitney. Great point guard matchup here this evening as the shot is missed. Riley Abercrombie offensive rebound. And an offensive foul call. Great defense from Anan Moody. Steve Smiley does not agree. Moody was called for a cheapie in the first half, and whether you believe in makeup calls or not, I don't think this was a makeup call. There was a lot of contact there. Moody went flying outside of the restricted area, and the Grizz have the ball back, leading 50-49. Whitney to Josh Vasquez between the circles, shuffles it to the left, and Brandon Whitney. Whitney back to Vasquez, 15 seconds to shoot. Two-man game. Whitney finally penetrates and shuffled his feet. Turnover number 6 against the Grizzlies. Not much of an edge in the turnover front. Turnovers committed or points off of those turnovers. Grizz lead 50-49. Reilly, Big Sky leader in assists per game, just hasn't played enough games to officially qualify. He's been held at bay so far in this one. Reilly with just 3 assists, but he scores it to give Northern Colorado the lead, 51-50. Second leading score for UNC during this stretch where they've won 4 straight games. First 4-game winning streak for the Bears in nearly 2 years. Anan Moody starting to heat up. He'll make a free throw line jumper. The offensive versatility on display for Montana. They lead 52-51. This is just the 3rd game this year the Grizz have had a second half lead change, and I think we're going to have plenty lead changes here in the second half. 15 lead changes already in the game, 5 lead changes in the opening 4 minutes. Grizz work through their offense, over to Deshaun Thomas. Dribble handoff on and Moody. He'll take the shot. His foot was on the line, and he knocks it in. Moody thought it was a 3. Instead, it was a 2. And he has 6 second-half points. Reilly will find Wisney. Good pass from Thomas underneath. Wisney will score. We're seeing the passing ability of St. Thomas as he continues to attract more attention. That is his 2nd assist. 55-54 Bears. Whitney tried to start the offense to the left. Is on and Moody. They run him off a screen. This time for 3, and Moody rattles it in and out. He's made 99 threes in a Grizzly uniform. That would have been number 100. See if that comes in a couple of minutes here as ball gets poked out of bounds. It will stay on this end of the floor when we come back. 15 minutes, 18 seconds to go. Anan Moody looks to be a 3. And we'll see the official call when we return to Missoula. This is Montana Grizzly basketball from Learfield and on ESPN+. Great camera view on.
At Blackfoot Communications, our mission is to connect people, businesses, and communities, bringing a world-class fiber network to homes, communities, and businesses of all sizes. Ensures Montanans have access to fast, reliable, and secure internet and phone services. Are you ready for fiber internet? To find out if fiber is coming to your area, visit goblackfoot.com/readyforfiber. Connect to more with Blackfoot Communications.
It's easy to see why Montana is the treasure state. At the University of Montana, we look inside. We see an old truth with fresh eyes, that Montana's greatest treasure is its people. So whatever tomorrow brings, we meet it the only way we know how, with a mind for making. Because what's made in Montana is remaking the world.
Event rental headquarters, call or go online today. Just over 15 minutes to go. They took a peek at this, and Anand Moody has his first 3 of the game. Unceremonial, but for Anand Moody, that was the 100th career 3 in a Grizzly uniform. He made 70 in his first season last year. He has 7 second-half points, and because it was changed to a 3, we're all tied up at 55. Shot was missed by Reilly. A foul on the rebound goes against Montana. And Oki picks up his 3rd. We're going to leave Oki out there right now. Was not attempted a shot, playing against a school from his home state of Colorado. St. Thomas rise and fire. His left wing 3 off the mark. Rebounded by Montana. Grizz pushed it into the front court right side with Brandon Whitney. Deadlocked at 55, our 10th tie of this game. Brandon Whitney with 15 points, going to work on St. Thomas. Gives it over to Lalu Oki. Dribble handoff, finds Josh Vasquez. Shot fake for Anand Moody. Moody starting to heat up here in this second half. And they call an offensive foul on Moody. We'll have to get another peek at this one. So Moody puts the ball on the deck. Extended a bit. We'll let you be the judge as Lalu Oki will check out of the game. Theo Hughes is in the 7-footer for Northern Colorado. Both of the big fellas were in some foul trouble. 5 Grizzlies out there: Whitney, Moody, Sawyer, Vasquez, and Deshaun Thomas. Tied up at 55. Just under 15 minutes to go. An entertaining game from Missoula. St. Thomas has an open look. His 3 rims out. Rebounded by Tajon Sawyer. The 3-point line was going to be important in this one. Grizzlies last in 3-point percentage in the league. And on cue, Tajon Sawyer improves it. The 6th made 3 of the night, and the Grizzlies needed that one. Sawyer has that range. That was his 4th made 3 of this season. He made 54 of them a season ago at the City College of San Francisco, where he was a junior college All-American. Dropping it off, and St. Thomas will score from the right block. He's up to 18 points, right at his season average. He's second in the Big Sky in just about everything, and only trailing Dylan Jones, who they should just name the Big Sky Player of the Week award after. Continue to rack him up. I think everybody's losing count at this point. 58-57 Montana, 13:37 to go. Vasquez, a left wing 3. This one left short, and Thomas has his 7th rebound. Closing in on his 8th double-double in his junior season and his first season playing in Greeley. Great pass, and Theo Hughes will score from point-blank range. Bears take the lead back at 59-58. You mentioned it, Northern Colorado, half of their games have been decided by 5 points or fewer. The Grizz have no games decided by 7 points or less. Closest game was an 8-point win down in Pocatello. Their first conference win, their only conference win so far. Thomas double team, lost the handle on it, no call. Bodies hit the deck, out of bounds and over to the Bears. And they are fired up right in front of Montana's bench. This has become, I don't want to throw around the rivalry word, but these games have become heated. The last 5 seasons between these two as Northern Colorado rose up in the Big Sky Conference ranks. Jackson Knapp will check in for the first time. These games always seem to have heightened importance and intensity. Back to the semifinal in Reno, where the Grizz pulled the ultimate rabbit out of their hat, to a couple years prior to that, where the Grizz could have clinched the regular season crown on the final day of the season, and Northern Colorado spoiled that here in Missoula. Reilly drops it down, and Theo Hughes scores. Northern Colorado leads 61-58. Brandon Whitney backs it out to midcourt. Bears lead by 3. It's a matter of who's going to get the most stops in this game. Whitney's free throw line jumper is good, and the Grizz hit 60 and into 6-0 run by UNC. Whitney has 17 points. His season high was 20 against Idaho State. Closing in on 12 minutes to go, Theo Hughes will pass it off to Reynolds. Reynolds too strong on the layup. On and Moody secures the rebound and gets it across the timeline for Montana. Left wing pass, Brandon Whitney's three is good. And Whitney matches his season high with 20 as he makes his 4th three-pointer of the year. Grizz lead at 63-61. Our 18th lead change in this game. And we still have 11 minutes to go. Reeves will miss the pull-up jumper. Vasquez with the board. Here comes Montana. Vasquez, a trailing three is good. The largest cheer of the night. And the Grizzlies have their largest lead at 66-61. It's a night for Mr. Vasquez, and very fittingly, he gets into double-figure scoring on his 150th career three. Grizz lead by 5. This is Montana Grizzly basketball from Learfield and on ESPN+.
In the heart of Montana's untamed wilderness, a legend is brewing. Jeremiah Johnson Brewing, the official beer of the Big Sky Conference. Brewed with the rugged spirit of the West. Jeremiah Johnson is simply a world-class, straightforward, no-nonsense beer. Do well.
We never set out to be the largest casino resort in the Pacific Northwest. We just wanted to be the best. But we forgot that being the best means more guests wanting more action, more jackpots, more big-name entertainment, more pedicures. Well, more everything. Until one day, you look up and realize, we need a new hotel tower. The new River Tower, to be exact. Northern Quest in Spokane, Washington. Now the largest. And yes, still the best.
Those moments where banking is the last thing on your mind? Yeah, those are our favorite moments too. Bring on the day. First Interstate, built for you.
Basketball is fueled by Town Pump. They're hiring a Town Pump. Visit townpump.com today. Welcome back to Dahlberg Arena. The threes are flying. A highly contested game, and Montana now has made 8 triples in the contest. The latest coming from Josh Vasquez, his 2nd of the night. He's the 4th Grizzly in double figures with 10. Never have quite seen a game like this. The first 28 minutes of this game, neither team led by more than 3 points. It was a one-possession game for the entirety of it until the Grizzlies on an 8-0 run, which is the largest run of this game, to lead by 5 with 11:19 to go. Just fun basketball, instant offense on both sides, head on a swivel, good athletes on the court. Big Sky Conference play is certainly here as Theo Hughes finds the mismatch underneath, and Theo Hughes has 10 points. Second time he's been in double-figure scoring. His career high came against Colorado earlier this season where he had 14 points. Jackson Knapp into the game. He's got the basketball now, finds Anan Moody on the baseline. Moody through some heavy traffic over to Brandon Whitney. Extra pass to Vasquez in the post. They'll find Oki. Oki's turnaround is up and good. His first shot attempt of the game results in a bucket. And Oki is the 6th Grizzly to score. They find Reynolds underneath the basket, altered by Oki and cleaned up by Hughes. 68-65 as Hughes continues to score. Both teams with 4 players in double-figure scoring. Brandon Whitney outside the perimeter. He'll find Anan Moody. Moody with the jab step, pick and roll, down to Oki, threw it away. Turnover number 9, committed by the Grizz. Reilly the other direction. He finds Reeves, who is rejected at the rim. Thomas cleans up the mess, throws it outside. Reilly saves the possession with 17 seconds to shoot it. Under 10 minutes to go. Grizz on top, 68-65. Thomas underneath, and a foul on Oki, who picks up number 4. Oki's just had a hard time getting in a groove. 4th foul. Played 14 minutes. That leads us to another timeout. What a game from here in Missoula. 9:48 to go. Grizz on top by 3. This is Montana Grizzly basketball from Learfield and on ESPN+. Great.
At Blackfoot Communications, our mission is to connect people, businesses, and communities, bringing a world-class fiber network to homes, communities, and businesses of all sizes. Ensures Montanans have access to fast, reliable, and secure internet and phone services. Are you ready for fiber internet? To find out if fiber is coming to your area, visit goblackfoot.com/readyforfiber. Connect to more with Blackfoot Communications.
It's easy to see why Montana is the treasure state. At the University of Montana, we look inside. We see an old truth with fresh eyes, that Montana's greatest treasure is its people. So whatever tomorrow brings, we meet it the only way we know how, with a mind for making. Because what's made in Montana is remaking the world.
Sip, count. What a game we have. Upcoming schedule for Montana. Some big ones. NAU in town on Saturday. Then the rivalry matchup next Saturday over in Bozeman. They'll take on the Cats. And then the rematch of a game against Weber State. That's a Monday game here in Missoula. Mark your calendars. You will not want to miss that one. Grizzlies will have revenge on their mind to get the bad taste out of their mouth from a 30-point loss down in Ogden. Out of the timeout, St. Thomas will miss a free throw line jumper. And the Grizzlies on offense leading by 3. Neither team led by more than 3 for the first 28 minutes of this game. A Josh Vasquez triple opened it up briefly. Montana leads by 3 again with the basketball. Deshaun Thomas, 18 points in the game. Brandon Whitney with 20. Anan Moody, all of his points, all 7 here in the second half. Nearly threw it away. Whitney saves the possession, 1 to shoot. Brandon Whitney misses the 3. Offensive rebound, Jackson Knapp, and Brandon Whitney will give it over to Anan Moody. Shot clock resets to 20. Crowd appreciates the effort here. Under 10 to shoot. Brandon Whitney turns the corner, drops it back. Thomas for three. Off the heel of the rim, no. Rebounded by St. Thomas. His 9th rebound in this game. Reilly gets in the paint, leaves it short. Vasquez with the rebound. St. Thomas cuts it off. There was going to be a numbers advantage for the Grizz as Whitney skies to the rim, couldn't get the roll. The Grizz haven't scored in over 2 minutes. They've went 3 straight games without a 3-minute scoring drought. Outside three, taken and missed, this time by Block. Rebounded by the Grizzlies. So both teams have cooled down a little bit. The Bears have missed 4 in a row. We haven't had a point scored in over 2 minutes. As Thomas, a little bit of contact, fought through it. Thomas this time is fouled with 8:01 to go. Got fewer whistles here in the second half. That's just the 5th overall foul. 2nd against the Bears, 3rd against the Grizz. That is the 3rd on Brock Wisney. Montana will inbound it. Vasquez will trigger, finds on in Moody. Shot fake for Moody, rise and fire for 3! Moody rattles it home, and the Grizz lead by 6. Moody in double figure scoring, the 5th Grizz to score over 10 points in this game. Reilly misses the runner. A putback by Thomas, a foul, and that will lead us to a timeout. 7:41 to go. The Grizz trying to create a little separation. They lead at 71-65. This is Montana Grizzly basketball from Learfield and on ESPN+. All right.
In the heart of Montana's untamed wilderness, a legend is brewing. Jeremiah Johnson Brewing, the official beer of the Big Sky Conference. Brewed with the rugged spirit of the West. Jeremiah Johnson is simply a world-class, straightforward, no-nonsense beer. Do well.
We never set out to be the largest casino resort in the Pacific Northwest. We just wanted to be the best. But we forgot that being the best means more guests wanting more action, more jackpots, more big-name entertainment, more pedicures. Well, more everything. Until one day, you look up and realize, we need a new hotel tower. The new River Tower, to be exact. Northern Quest in Spokane, Washington. Now the largest. And yes, still the best.
Those moments where banking is the last thing on your mind? Yeah, those are our favorite moments too. Bring on the day. First Interstate, built for you.
Member of the Grizz Home Team. Visit GrizzHomeTeam.com for more information. 7:41 left to go from Robin Selvig Court inside Dahlberg Arena. Great crowd has settled in on this Thursday despite the cold temperatures and the snow falling for what it seems like the first time this year. And what a game we've had. The Grizzlies have 5 players in double-figure scoring. The Bears have 4. These are 2 of the top 3 offenses in the league. Montana is a perfect 10-0 this year when scoring over 70 points. As you can see, they've got 71 on the board now. St. Thomas makes the first free throw. Couple streaks intact. Montana also perfect in these white uniforms. They're 6-0 on the year. Check the scoreboard. Result down at the Nest in Sacramento that might catch the attention of some. Sacramento State leads Weber State 57-54 with 7 minutes to go. 1 out of 2 for St. Thomas, who has his 8th double-double of the season, 19 points and 10 rebounds. They run on and Moody off of a screen, top of the circle. Moody puts the ball on the deck. Jackson Knapp's been playing good minutes here in the second half. Turnaround, Sawyer will score. And the largest lead of the game grows to 7. As Sawyer with 13 points and 5 rebounds. Grizzlies 73-66. Jaron Reilly up top, takes a 3, hits it short. Vasquez on the deck. It'll be a tie-up. And Montana will have the possession. Vasquez always has been a scrappy player. First year as a freshman in 2019. Started 43 games in his 135 contests as a Grizzly. This is the 29th time that he's been in double-figure scoring. Has 10 points in this contest, and Vasquez coming off a 17-point game, and he's not a role player this year. He is firmly in the mix for how Montana is where they're at, and when they're on the verge of winning their 9th game in their last 10 contests, as a foul is whistled, as Block was holding a Grizzly on his way through the lane with 6:45 remaining in the contest. 4 fouls on the Grizz, 3 against the Bears. Not close to the bonus yet. Vasquez got it in. On and Moody will feed the post. Deshaun Thomas has been a little quiet in the second half. He did all his work in the first, and he draws a foul this time. Thomas had 16 points in the first half, just 2 here after the intermission, but a complete performance. 18 points, 7 rebounds, and leads the team with 4 assists. Grizzlies had 6 assists on their first 9 made buckets in the second half as Thomas knocks down the first. He's got 19 points. Same output that he had in the last game against South Dakota. 1 dribble and the second free throw good. The second time that Thomas has hit 20 points here in his senior season. 75-66. Home crowd enjoying this one, and why wouldn't they? St. Thomas bullies his way against Jackson Knapp. Great defense from Knapp, closes him out. Here's Moody in the front court, waits for his teammates to catch up. Knapp, the sophomore, the minutes have been sporadic for him, but you can always count on good effort. Moody's got an open look for 3, misses it from the left side, chases down the offensive rebound. Shot clock resets to 20, 3-pointer taken in the corner by Knapp, too strong. That would have brought the house down with 6 minutes to go. The lead is 9. The Bears have not made a shot from the floor in nearly 5 minutes, and DeJour Reeves says, let's change that around. Bears hanging in there 75-68. Vasquez harassed in the backcourt, breaks the pressure, slows everything down. 75-68 Montana with 5:28 remaining in the game. Vasquez will spin it into Sawyer, another holding foul. Whistled against Block. Team foul number 5 is Moody has gotten loose here in half number 2. As Brandon Whitney will check in. Both teams shooting exactly 50% for the game. The difference, Northern Colorado, who averages 9 threes a game, is just 4 for 10, and the Grizzlies are 9 for 22. On and Moody, halfway down, pinballed out, offensive rebound. Jackson Knapp tried to save it and throws it to Riley Abercrombie. Abercrombie, front court, he's got an open look for 3. 3-point shooter, can't get it to fall. Offensive rebound, Theo Hughes rejected by Sawyer. What a defensive possession for the Grizzlies. Northern Colorado has missed 9 of their last 10. Under 5 minutes to go. Grizz up by 7, 75-68. Tajon Sawyer at the right elbow, passes it out to Jackson Knapp. Not afraid from three, and Jackson Knapp hits the biggest shot of this game, and we've got our first double-figure lead at 10 with under 5 minutes to go. For Jackson Knapp, a total of 2 points in his last 6 games. Didn't play in the game in Fargo, and a perfect example of staying ready when your number is called. And what a bucket from the lefty. Silky smooth, it goes up and in, and the Grizzlies lead 78-68. What a game for those that might still have a football hangover. Grizz getting back into Big Sky Conference play. What a reintroduction for everybody about this team. So balanced, a lot of experience, top 50 in the country as far as experience is concerned. On and Moody, Deshaun Thomas have both played in 137 career games. Josh Vasquez in game number 135 tonight, and Brandon Whitney playing in his 102nd game. So the Grizzlies, one of the rare teams in the country that has 4 players that have appeared in over 100 games. That experience certainly shining right now. Montana with 7 seniors on their roster. For Northern Colorado, mainly upperclassmen, but it's been new pieces this year with Thomas, Reeves, and really the trio of newcomers. These Grizzlies focused in the huddle. They went through Money Williams to start the year. Money Williams out indefinitely with a foot injury. He's back with the team for the first time in a couple of contests here tonight. These Grizzlies certainly looking complete with 4:39 to go in the game. The True Green give you a greener, more weed-free lawn and healthier trees and shrubs. It's the official lawn care member of the Grizz Home Team. Visit GrizzHomeTeam.com for more information on True Green and what other services they can help you with to achieve your desired results. 5 minutes to go from Sacramento, and Sacramento State leads Weber State 61-56. Keep you up to date on that one. 4:39 left to go from here in Missoula. Inbounds goes to Theo Hughes. He's harassed and double teamed. Keeps the possession alive over to DeJour Reeves. Reeves creates separation. He's rejected by On and Moody. Great defense from Moody, and the Grizzlies up 10 will slow things down as they walk it into the front court. Brandon Whitney peeks at the clock, throws it to Deshaun Thomas. Whitney and Thomas each with 20 in this game. They looked for Sawyer. The ball was kicked. It will stay on this end with the Grizz as the shot clock will go to 20. Whitney, Sawyer, Knapp, Moody, and Deshaun Thomas. Jackson Knapp has played 10 second-half minutes in this game. Knapp, dangerous pass, and it's a turnover. 2-on-1, Thomas goes to Reilly, shot was missed. Put back from Thomas, they'll count the bucket, and one. So just when you think the Grizz might pull away, St. Thomas trying to will UNC back into this one. Don't go anywhere. 3:56 remaining from Missoula. Grizz lead 78-70. This is Montana Grizzly basketball from Learfield and on ESPN+.
At Blackfoot Communications, our mission is to connect people, businesses, and communities, bringing a world-class fiber network to homes, communities, and businesses of all sizes. Ensures Montanans have access to fast, reliable, and secure internet and phone services. Are you ready for fiber internet? To find out if fiber is coming to your area, visit goblackfoot.com/readyforfiber. Connect to more with Blackfoot Communications.
So welcome back, our ESPN Plus audience. St. Thomas taking advantage, a little 2-on-1 break, the stick back, the bucket. St. Thomas with 21 points and 11 rebounds in the contest. And it's just been a great basketball game. 78-70, two teams that are certainly in the top half of the Big Sky Conference. No doubt Northern Colorado the biggest surprise in the league after being the preseason number 8 pick by the coaches, number 9 by the media. Lost their top 3 scorers from last year and give Steve Smiley a lot of credit for retooling this roster. His record, 53-53 in 4 years leading the program. These two have played great battles the last 10 meetings. And the Grizz have won 2 in a row. They swept the games last year after losing 6 of the previous 7. That just doesn't happen to Montana in Big Sky Conference play. Northern Colorado won 4 straight games here in Missoula from 2019 to 2022. Thomas converts the free throw. The lead is 7 with 3:48 remaining, 78-71. Handoff from Vasquez over to Whitney. Whitney will find a trailing Thomas. Left wing pass. Vasquez for 3. Off front iron, no. And the weak side rebound hauled in by Riley Abercrombie. Up the floor, Reilly. Still plenty of time for this explosive offense to get back into it. 3-pointer missed. Offensive rebound, Thomas. He'll score from the block. And a 10-point lead has been trimmed down to 5 just like that, thanks to St. Thomas. Crowd trying to assist with 3:12 to go. It's 78-73. Vasquez will feed it to Deshaun Thomas. Just 4 of his 20 points in the second half. Dribbled it off his foot. Turnover number 11. And the other way, a layup is missed. Grizzlies dodge a massive bullet. And Vasquez weaves his way, maneuvers his way into the front court. And Brandon Whitney will work some clock with 2:45 remaining. Whitney with 20 points of his own. Backs it out to the free throw line. They're trying to feed it to Sawyer. He's got a size mismatch right now. Double team will come. Sawyer passes out of it. Extra pass, Knapp. Knapp with the flyby. Gives it off. What a pass! Deshaun Thomas scores. But give the credit to Jackson Knapp for that dime. And the Grizz have hit 80. It's 80-73. St. Thomas a shot fake. Guarded by Knapp. Gets down to the right block. Fades away, and it's good. Thomas with 26. The Grizzlies have scored 80 points or more 7 times this year. They did that just 6 times all of last year. 2 minutes left and a 5-point lead. Whitney over to Knapp. Back to Thomas. Time is on the side of the Grizz with a shot clock at 10. Deshaun Thomas goes up against Riley Abercrombie, and he's whistled for the offensive foul.
That's a shitty call. That's bullshit.
So Anan Moody will check back in. You saw Riley Abercrombie go flying, one of the returners. He's from Australia, a couple years at Rice. Jackson Knapp, great ovation. 11 minutes for Jackson Knapp. It's the most since Weber State when he played 10. 1:44 to go, Grizz lead 80-75. Reilly will find Wisney. Dribble handoff to St. Thomas. He'll take a 3 and knock it down. 29 points for St. Thomas, 2 away from his career high. The Grizz were just in front by 10, and all of a sudden it's down to 2. Tajon Sawyer back to Brandon Whitney on the left wing. Grizzlies have slowed things down, taking them a little bit out of rhythm here. We come up on 1 minute to go. On and Moody at the free throw line. Back over to Vasquez. Vasquez on the right wing. Spins around and gets it swiped away. And On and Moody whistled for the foul. It's team foul number 8. And Northern Colorado will have an opportunity to tie this game up at the free throw line. The Grizzlies have turned it over 4 times in the last 3 minutes. And St. Thomas, with a hand in his face, able to score. And at the line will be Reilly, a 69% shooter. This is the front end of a 1-and-1, and he rattles it home to make it an 80-79 game. Second free throw good, and we are tied at 80. Our 11th tie of this game with 1:05 to go. The Grizzlies will take a timeout. This game has had a little bit of everything. With 1:03 to go, we're tied up at 80. Coach DeCuire is going to take a timeout. Both teams have 2 timeouts remaining in this one. Northern Colorado on a 7-0 run in the last 70 seconds. The Grizz thought they were going to salt this one away. Their largest lead was at 10. They had it at 78-68 and 80-70. Now Coach DeCuire will try and draw it up. The rare mistake, a turnover, and then a frustration foul on top of it. 2 games coming down to the wire. Big Sky play is here with 55 seconds left to go in Sacramento. 4-11. Sacramento State is leading 11-4. Weber State 66-63. 1:03 left to go here. We're all tied up at 80 apiece. 5 Grizzlies in double figure scoring for the 3rd time this year. St. Thomas has 29 points and 12 rebounds. Where will the Grizzlies go when they need a bucket the most? 1 minute to go. They set a screen for Brandon Whitney. Down the lane. Gets cut off and over to Tajon Sawyer. Sawyer gets to the block. Goes up and scores. Sawyer with 15 points. The Grizz lead 82-80. And now a timeout for Northern Colorado as Steve Smiley will try and counter. Let's take a look at this last possession. It's all about finding the mismatch. And the Grizzlies love Tajon Sawyer underneath, no matter who's guarding him. And the size, the physicality to score over Wisney has given the Grizz an 82-80 edge. See the huddle, very focused. Montana's played 9 players in this game. 7 have scored, and 5 are in double figures. The only other 2 times it happened were both against UC Davis. 22 from Thomas, 20 from Whitney, 15 from Sawyer, 10 from Moody, and 10 from Josh Vasquez. Lalu Oki will check in. So the Grizzlies on this defensive possession will have Oki, Thomas, Knapp, Whitney, and Anan Moody. 82-80 the score. 47 seconds left. The drive to the rim. Oki, the rim protector. The shot was missed. Offensive rebound. Wisney keeps it alive. Over to St. Thomas. Down the middle of the lane, and he gets the roll. And Thomas ties up this game at 82. A 4-second difference. Shot clock to game clock, and Coach DeCuire is going to let him play. Both teams have 1 timeout remaining. Brandon Whitney in game number 102 in a Grizzly uniform. Dribbling it near midcourt, and Travis DeCuire will use his final timeout with 10 seconds to go on the shot clock and 14 seconds left to go on the game clock. So the Grizz needed a bucket on their last possession, and they drew it up for Tajon Sawyer. Now, where will they go? A great alteration by Oki. The offensive rebound keeps it alive. That was the 11th of the game for UNC. And St. Thomas, with that bucket, matches his career high of 31 points and 12 rebounds. He is the real deal. Dylan Jones gets all of the headlines and all of the Player of the Week honors, but it's St. Thomas that has really come out of nowhere. 3-time Big Sky Player of the Week. Averages nearly a double-double. Scored the first 10 points for UNC in this one. Has them tied up at 82 apiece. The Grizz led by 10 with 4:49 remaining. Vasquez will inbound it. Whitney, Moody, Thomas, and Knapp are the other four out there, and Northern Colorado will commit the foul. They had one more to give. So it's team foul number 6. That's an interesting decision from Steve Smiley because now the shot clock's turned off. The Grizz can hold for one final shot. Brandon Whitney gets a screen, goes right, attacks the rim, misses the shot. Ball gets poked out of bounds. It will stay with the Grizz. With 2.9 to go, it looks like they'll review this. No, they will not. 2.9 seconds left. Grizz are out of timeouts. They get it into Moody for the win. Moody couldn't get it to go, and we are going to overtime. If you're Montana, you couldn't have asked for a better look from your best shooter off the inbounds play that has worked so many times before. Let's take another peek at it. Everyone was waiting for the moment, and Moody just couldn't get it to fall in. Little bit too strong, and we're going to overtime. What a game. As Tajon Sawyer will check in, they'll put 5 minutes on the clock. Big Sky Conference play here in a big way. Weber State trails Sacramento State 66-63. That game has under 40 seconds to go from the Nest in Sacramento. Here in Missoula, 12 ties, 18 lead changes in this one. So we're tied up at 82 apiece. Both of these teams pretty much right at their averages during their winning streak. The Grizz have won 8 of their last 9. Northern Colorado's won 4 in a row. The last overtime game for the Grizz came down in Flagstaff. They fell to NAU. The last overtime win for the Grizz came against Portland State. These two have just played some classics the last 5 seasons. Northern Colorado's won 6 of the last 9 against Montana. The 3 Grizzly wins have come by 2 points, 2 points, and 5 points. This is the closest game Montana's played in by a long shot. Northern Colorado's used to this. The Grizz haven't had a game decided by fewer than 8 here this season. So Sawyer will jump it up against Wisney, and the Grizzlies will win the tap here in overtime. Keep it on the same end of the floor, going right to left. Don and Moody will throw it over to the left side of the floor. Deshaun Thomas. 22 for Thomas, down the lane, contested shot, missed it, got his own miss, and he traveled. A lot of contact down the lane. They let it play out. And Northern Colorado with a chance to take the lead. Their last lead came when it was 61-60. And St. Thomas will give UNC the lead with 4:25 to go. How will the Grizzlies respond? Trailing 84-82. Thomas has the mismatch, gets down to the paint and rejected by Thomas. St. Thomas on both ends of the floor. Here goes Zach Block. He will score. Counted in one. And the largest lead of the game for Northern Colorado comes in the opening minute of overtime, as Anand Moody is whistled for his fourth. Deshaun Thomas, before he traveled on the other end, did pick up his 10th rebound for his fourth consecutive double-double. But more pressing matters at hand here in Northern Colorado with a chance to move in front by 5. Block can't convert. That was the first points of the game for Block. Couldn't have picked a better time. 86-82. 1 minute into overtime. Grizzlies need a response on the offensive end. They find Vasquez, lines it up for three, and Vasquez has the answer. His third triple of the night, the 11th of the game for Montana, and the crowd injected with life again as the Grizz are within a point. 86-85. Wisney down the left lane. Good defense from Sawyer, but Wisney rattles it home. 88-85 Northern Colorado. Brandon Whitney outside the perimeter. Looks to go. St. Thomas will pick him up. Anand Moody closed out. Jackson Knapp with the jab step. Just beyond the arc. Knapp will turn it to the left side and Vasquez. 13 points and 8 rebounds tonight for Josh. Now it's Whitney. Spins around. Thomas closes him out. Shot clock down to 3. Knapp flies in the lane. Misses the shot short. And it's rebounded by Reilly. 2:53 to go. The Bears nursing a 3-point lead. Abercrombie to the right side and block. Anand Moody on the floor with 4 fouls, as is Tajon Sawyer. Thomas for 3. That one would have been a backbreaker. Rattles it in and out. It's rebounded by the Grizz. Whitney the other way. Looks to attack. Montana is slowed down on this end. Tried to protect that 10-point lead. Whitney left open. His 3 rims out. Rebounded by Riley Abercrombie, and UNC can work clock. 2:19 remaining. 88-85 Bears. Reilly moved his pivot foot and traveled. It's just the 6th turnover of the game for the Bears. The Grizz have committed 13. And Deshaun Thomas will come back in for Jackson Knapp. 2:09 to go, 88-85. Moody, Sawyer, Thomas, Whitney, and Vasquez, the 5 Grizzlies on the floor. Needing a 3 to tie up this game. Whitney gets a screen, attacks down the left lane, draws some contact, he'll go to the line. Team foul number 7 on the Bears, but that's personal foul number 4 on St. Thomas. So Whitney will toe the line, 20 points tonight. And he stays perfect at the line, 6 for 6. So the Grizzlies sub, defense for offense here as Knapp and Oki come back in for Vasquez and Sawyer. 1:56 remaining. Grizz have 1 timeout. UNC has 2, and Whitney has 22 points. A new season high. 88-87 with 1:51 to go. Reilly will find Wisney. St. Thomas underneath to Wisney. Good defense by Oki. From the left block, Wisney muscles it up and scores. Wisney with 15. Whitney calms everyone down. 1:30 left. Whitney attacks the lane and scores. He cannot be stopped tonight. His 8th made shot. And the Grizzlies back within 1. 90-89 the score. 1:15 remaining. Reilly over to St. Thomas. Thomas guarded by Jackson Knapp at the free throw line. Back outside to the point guard. 10 seconds to shoot. Has a lane up off the window and Reilly scores. Steve Smiley will take a timeout with 63 seconds left to go in overtime. Tajon Sawyer back in for the Grizz. a possession-by-possession game. For our radio audience, we'll pause 10 seconds for station ID. This is Montana Grizzly basketball from Learfield. And what a shot from Jaron Reilly. 12 points per game is what he averages. He has 16 here in this one. It's a new season at Kohl's. Find fresh everyday styles for you and your home at great prices. Shop Kohl's and Kohl's.com today. 12 ties, 19 lead changes. Some foul trouble to worry about. St. Thomas has 4 for UNC. Moody, Oki, and Sawyer have 4 for the Grizzlies. But Montana has had multiple opportunities here in this game where they have to set up a possession on offense. They need a bucket in the worst of ways. They've went to Sawyer. They've went to Moody. They've went to Thomas. Brandon Whitney's put on his Superman cape. Where will they go here? It's Vasquez, Whitney, Thomas, Moody, and Sawyer on the court. Grizzlies down 92-89. 1 minute left to go in overtime. Deshaun Thomas hands it off to Josh Vasquez. To the left, he'll find Brandon Whitney. And Whitney lost the basketball. It's a turnover. Reilly will have it. Into the front court is St. Thomas. And there's a 21-second difference between the clocks. The Grizz will have to play this possession out defensively. Thomas has a window, kicks to the corner. Abercrombie's 3 is left short. Offensive rebound by Thomas. And a heartbreaker for the Grizzlies as they thought they got an early miss from Abercrombie, who did not utilize the clock. 3-point shooter, when he sees a window, he was ready to shoot it. And that is foul number 5 on Tajon Sawyer, who fouls out of this game. 15 points, 5 rebounds. So in a day where the top of the Big Sky standing could be flipped upside down, Weber State loses to Sacramento State 71-69. First one from St. Thomas is good, and the Bears lead by 4. This is their largest lead of the game. The Grizzlies have led for majority, especially of the second half. Second free throw from Thomas is good. He has 35 points to go along with 13 rebounds. 30 seconds left to go. Whitney gets a screen. Thomas over to Vasquez. He'll take a 3. Vasquez knocks it down. And the Grizz staying alive thanks to Vasquez. His 4th made 3 pulls the Grizz within 2, 94-92. So can Montana force a turnover here in the backcourt? They've only forced 6 in the entire game. This has just been absolutely incredible and a great way to get back into Big Sky Conference play. Montana's won 8 of their last 9. Their only home loss this year came back in November against North Dakota State, Northern Colorado. They won at Air Force in December. And just last week, they won in Grand Forks against North Dakota. 4 of their last 6 wins have come by 4 points or less. These two teams will meet again February 10th. And after what we've witnessed here tonight for 45 minutes, circle that date on the calendar. These two teams both in the top half of the league and trying to emerge as contenders. Weber State and Eastern Washington. They just get it into St. Thomas in time. To Reilly in the backcourt. Grizzlies trying to trap, and a foul with 15.9 remaining. Whitney did not want to commit the foul. And Mark Beasley is talking with Travis DeKeer right now. Coach DeKeer is livid that foul was whistled. Didn't look like the Grizzlies wanted to foul, at least until that got into the front court. 15.9 seconds left. Northern Colorado leads Montana 94-92. Take another peek at it, and There was not much there. Really, a 69% shooter at the line, makes the first. And the Bears lead by 3. Reilly is 4 for 5 from the stripe. He has 17 points. This is the big one to make it a 2-possession lead. And it's good. Soft touch from Reilly. 96-92. Grizz need to go in a hurry. On and Moody. He'll take a shot from deep range off the left side of the rim. No. St. Thomas hauls in his 14th rebound. The Grizzlies commit the foul, and that should all but do it. And what a tough loss this is going to be for Montana here at home. Up 78-68 with under 5 minutes to go. Northern Colorado goes on a 7-0 run in 70 seconds. They tied it up at 80. And the heroics of St. Thomas and this talented Northern Colorado team are going to come in here and win in Missoula for the 5th time in their last 6 tries. Moody over to Knapp, doesn't take a 3, and that'll do it. Northern Colorado wins 98-92. They improved to 2-0 in the league. The Grizz drop to 1-2. Stick around for the post-game show. We'll talk with Coach DeKeer on the other side of the break. This is Montana Grizzly basketball from Learfield.
From the snowy peaks of the Rocky Mountains to the Golden Coast in the Pacific Northwest,